Hi guys, today we're going to talk about cerebral palsy and basically what it is, how you live with it, how it affects your day-to-day life, and cerebral palsy in general. Um, I know there are quite a few types of cerebral palsy. I'm not quite sure about uh, how they all affect certain people. I mean, I have spastic diplegic cerebral palsy, which can be quite difficult to live with. I don't tend to let it affect my day-to-day life. I mean, I can do just about anything anyone else can do, bar the obvious things like riding a bike and climbing a tree, and any sort of physical thing that's like reliant on balance or muscles or anything like that. I was born with cerebral palsy, but I wasn't diagnosed until I was 18 months old. Um, I spent most of my childhood wearing calipers or splints, or doing physiotherapy, or generally just going to hospital appointments and going into hospital and that kind of thing. Um, I also didn't have a lot of friends growing up, mainly because I didn't know how to explain to them what was wrong with me, and I got bullied a lot. Um, I mean, I have it quite easy compared to some people with cerebral palsy. I can walk, although I don't walk the same as everybody else. I can walk. I can talk, which is not the norm for someone with cerebral palsy. Usually their voices are a bit distorted. Um, I can do just about anything, really. I mean, I'm really lucky, but in other cases, there are people that aren't so lucky. Um, on a day-to-day general kind of um, general day, on day-to-day occurrences, I go through a hell of a lot of pain. My legs don't work in the same way that everybody else's work. I walk on my toes, so sort of like this, and then on top of that I've got like my feet turning, so it's quite hard to walk and balance on a day-to-day basis. I tend to fall 2 to 3 times a day. I tend not to be able to move my legs very much at all, and there are days when I can't move at all. My arms tend to, they look fine and they work fine until I hold something for a certain amount of time, and then they just tend to not work so well. There are times when I find it really hard to move them at all as well. Um, there are loads of different things that come into cerebral palsy. I mean, you've got the pain factor for one. It's not nice on a day-to-day business, like day-to-day basis, to have to go through as much pain as what I have to go through. But at the same time, it makes me who I am. Then you've got like the fact that you have to do physio every day and wear your splints every day, and generally just have to rely on other people quite a bit. But as I said, I'm quite lucky. Like, I don't rely on other people half as much as other people with cerebral palsy do. I can't ride a bike. I can't climb a tree. I can't run. I can't balance very well, so because of that, I can't rollerblade. I can't skateboard. Um, I can't bend down to pick things up out of the cooker, or bend down to pick something up without stumbling. Um, I tend to find myself almost incapable of getting out of the bath, or of climbing stairs or stuff like that, and I have to have someone there with me to be able to do that kind of thing. But it's not difficult to live with the cerebral palsy almost as much as it's difficult to live with the people's reactions to the disability. I mean, I grew up living between England and Scotland. I grew up in 13 different houses that I can count. And with each house came a new school. With each new school, I had to explain to loads of different people why I walked the way I did, or why I couldn't balance, or why I couldn't ride a bike, or why I found it hard to climb the stairs. I went to a mainstream school. I didn't go to any sort of special needs school. I went to a mainstream school. I was quite lucky that way. Every single school I went to was a mainstream school. But I didn't spend as much time in school as what I should have done, whether it was because of hospital appointments or operations or whatever. It was mainly because I got bullied a lot at school. People are more afraid of what they don't understand, and that's part of the reason why I'm making this video today, is to try and make you understand that disabilities aren't a bad thing, and people with disabilities aren't bad people. Like, we haven't done anything to deserve the way we walk or the way we talk or the things that we've got wrong with us. It's just a case of it's happened to us and we've got to live with it. And instead of like making it harder for us by bullying us, like, it would be much better if people that did bully us like tried to help us instead. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had some friends at school who looked out for me and stuck up for me and stuff, and it's kind of shaped who I am today. Like, I wouldn't have got through my teenage years without music. The day I got my first tattoo was exhilarating, because it was something that was normal. It was something that I could do that everybody else could do at the same time. I mean, I grew up with two sisters who could ride bikes and were able-bodied and could go skateboarding and could go swimming and could do whatever they wanted to do, basically, and I couldn't. But to their I don't know what the word is. It wasn't as bad as what it sounds. I mean, my sisters did everything in their power to kind of make me feel as though I was part of it. Like, I might not have been able to ride a bike. My sister did try to teach me once and I flew over the handlebars, and that was the end of that. I was not doing that again. I used to sit and watch them ride their bikes, or when they went swimming I'd get in the pool with them, but I couldn't swim. And we did things together all the time. I mean, they generally didn't do what they could do because they wanted to do something with me, and I thank them for that. I mean, my sisters, we don't get on as much anymore, like, we hardly ever talk, but I love them. I would not have been able to do everything I can do if it wasn't for them. Like, I remember spending times in plaster, like from my toes right the way up to my knees, and they would write all over them and draw all over them, and it was great. Like, they just make me feel as though it was just a normal day. They'd walk around in my splints when I wasn't wearing them, just to like kind of make me laugh. With them both being younger than me as well, it was harder for them because the youngest is always supposed to get the most attention, and I tended to take up a lot of their attention because I had hospital appointments and all that sort of thing. And then when I hit my teenage years, I kind of went into rebellion and told everyone I wasn't wearing my splints anymore, I wasn't doing my physio anymore. There was nothing they could do to make me. I kind of went into myself and started listening to metal music and stretching my ears and getting piercings and tattoos, which I will go through my tattoos on another video at some point soon. I'll probably record it after this one, actually. Or I might go and play World of Warcraft. But I mean, it was harder for them as well because their friends were always asking them questions about my disability and stuff, and because I went into like my own little world, I kind of started listening to metal music, started playing games a lot. That's when I became a massive gamer. Like, I just lost myself in games. Dyed my hair random colours, got loads of piercings, shut the world out, and didn't really want to speak to anybody for a long time. And that's when the bullying was really, really bad, and I'd take it out on my mum a lot, and I'd take it out on my sisters a lot because they were all able to do what I couldn't do. And then of course you had my dad, who was working away constantly, didn't get to see the aggro that everyone else was getting. But it hasn't really affected my day-to-day life anymore. Like, I have a wonderful boyfriend, a wonderful little boy, and I can basically just do what I need to do on a day-to-day basis. And if I can't do it for myself, someone else can do it for me. And I'm always grateful to them for that, because there are a lot of people around me that if I ask for help, I'll get it, but I don't tend to ask for help as much as what I should probably do, because I tend to want to do things for myself, which, if you are disabled, you'll notice that you do that a lot yourself as well, because you kind of want to prove to people that you can do what everyone else can do, basically. And with me being me, a lot of people used to get frustrated with me because I'd purposefully not do what they wanted me to do, and I'd purposefully like do my own thing, and they used to get so frustrated. But yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions about my cerebral palsy or about me in general, ask down below. Like, don't be afraid to ask. Like, I will answer them as long as they're not rude. Like, I'm the same in real life. If you come up to me and ask me nicely why I walk the way I do, or ask me nicely what's wrong with me, I'll answer you. But if you come up to me and go, why do you walk like that, then I'll tend to turn around to you and say to you to your face, why is your face like that? Because I'm a person just like everyone else, and I'm not going to be talked to in a way that is downgrading or patronising. I don't like it. Like, just ask me nicely down below whatever it is you want to ask, and I'll answer you to the best of my ability. Whether it's about me, whether it's about my cerebral palsy, whether it's about makeup tutorials or whatever, just feel free to ask, because I will do a question and answer video as well. Okay, bye!